Testing 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we go. So we created a circle. So this is our object. I created a circle and extruded it down -0, and then again, or -1, and then again we set up a view. In this case, the southwest, and we get positioned to where we want to be able to render this. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to View, Render, Light, and I'm going to go to Sun Properties. And then under Sun Properties, we're going to turn it on. And then we get this sunlight point. Do we want to turn off the default? We're going to turn off the default. That turns off the default light. This is the color of our light. We want shadows on. We'll just leave this for now and just render it. I always like to test. So let's see what that looks like. So you can see now we have a similar look, but we actually have cast shadows. All right, so we're able to produce this image with a cast shadow. Oops, let's bring that back. Where did my... I think I just lost it. Where did my guy go? There it is. Playing tricks on us. Oh. Alright, something's definitely wrong with my machine. So we have different options here for date and angle. So we can manipulate the sun based on a time. So east to west, right? So the sun goes east to west. So if we go earlier in the daytime here, 11 a.m., it's going to be over here more. So you can figure out, you know, if you guys should know this, sun rises on the east, goes down on the west. North doesn't have a lot of sunlight. What other shadows are on? This is sort of the color. That's fine. That's the intensity. Typically, that's all we have to touch.
Is that color normal? It seems so gray.
Well, it's like a reddish, I mean a yellowish sun color. It actually rendered fine, so I mean you're welcome to, you know, do what you want with it. So you can see now the sun's coming more from this angle. So you can adjust where that's coming from. And then I'm going to set up the samples to 16. That's basically how the shadows are going to look softness wise. I'm going to change the time closer to 2 o'clock. Okay, the shadow is too far that way, so let's go more like 5 o'clock. Okay, a little bit. It's in September, so let's go there we go. Summer solstice, right? Maybe still too. So again, we're doing these sort of previews. So say I'm happy with that. Okay, the next thing we have to look at is view, render. Let's look at advanced rendering settings. So by default, it's set up to be at 640 by 480. That's way too low res. In the end, we're basically going to be putting this together on 8.5 by 11, right? So, and I'm going to go actually landscape. So 11, we know we want to deal with about 200 dpi times 11 is going to be 2200. And then 8.5 times 200 is going to be 1700. So we're going to be here. We're going to come to output size, specify output size. Width is going to be 2200 by 1700. And this matches our size. So final gather. I think this we can all leave. So right now it's set to view. I'm going to try cropped. And then it asks us to pick an area. So that way it doesn't render the entire thing. But I think the problem is then saving it is always an issue. Because destination is then always viewport. We can. Yeah, when it's cropped, we can only do it there.
So you kind of have to do it.
Let's try. Let's do selected. Let's see if the best. We want it to go edge to edge, basically. I mean, if it does it for us, that's great. No, it doesn't. But it might be going edge to edge. We're going to save. Let's try selected. It's doing the whole thing. You can see we can't see it render right now, but it's doing the whole thing. All right, so we're going to have to stick with window. Or sorry, view. So that way it goes to a window. And then we'll just make sure we're in tight enough on this thing. And then I'm going to go ahead and render that. And you can see at the higher res, it takes a lot longer. Though my proportions don't look like 8.5 by 11. I'll pause this while it's rendering. So let's go ahead and add some materials to this to give it a little more interest. So we're going to go ahead and cancel. I played it. I'm playing again. I'm fast. Like push the button. I even realize. Okay, so I'm going to go to material editor. And then I'm going to make a new material. And let's go ahead and make it I like plastic. And what we're going to do is say it's plastic transparent. We can always change this to a cube, so we start to see what that might look like. Can do pool of water. That's interesting. What's the idea behind that? And this is going to be plastic transparent. We can set our color. Let's make it purple. And then let's call this JM plastic. Then I'm going to go to View, Render, Material Browser. So there's my plastic. I'm going to select that, right click, and assign to selected. So it's now assigned to that. I'm then probably going to go back into my rendering and go to specify custom. It should be 2200. That's why I'm off. That's the right. And then I'm going to lock this, the aspect ratio, and then I'm going to kick this down to like 800. So this will match my proportions of 8.5 by 11, and then hit OK, and then render it. It's just because it's faster, right? Because I want to preview this thing and see how it looks. And I'm getting some weird looking stuff. It's basically what's happening in the way it's reflecting the ground, and that this is sitting in the same spot, so you get this like tearing. So let's go back to this material. Let's just make it vinyl, glossy. Okay, it has some glossiness to it. That's fine. Let's just deal with that for now. Okay, so then we can come back here. We'll kick it up, and we'll re-render it, and then I'll pause this. Alright, so once it's done rendering, we can come here and say File, Save. I always go Save Copy, and then I'm going to save this as, you can save it as a JPEG, and then you want to put it in a spot that makes sense. Save it best quality. Okay. So once it's done saving, before we even get to Illustrator, what I want to do next is I did save copy. Yeah. I think it doesn't matter. I just want to make sure it gives me enough options. I want to see something real quick. It should work. Hold on. So I'm trying to create a visual style so I can see my hidden lines. The ones that are back here.
Oh, you want to see them when it's in blue.
Yeah. I mean, I have 2D hidden. Huh? That's just a color. We can change the color. I don't think we need that. Let me adjust the LT scale.
What's LT?
Line type scale. I mean, we might just have to do it in Illustrator, but let me just try. So we want to make a PDF, and I want to do a window. Yeah, it's not doing it here. All right, we're going to have to do it in Illustrator. So the next step is you basically want to make a wireframe. Okay, and then you want to make a PDF out of this and then print it as a PDF. And this is going to be our Axon wire. So that's what that looks like. And then we'll go in and change the line weights. And then in Illustrator, how many times have we used Illustrator in this class? Huh? Just was it at the beginning? I can't remember. How many people remember Illustrator? I'm trying to remember. Well, Illustrator is going to be your friend because we got to put this together in Illustrator. So I'm going to open. So this is Illustrator. If you don't remember,
We use it for the portfolios, right?
that was InDesign. So Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop. You're going to get a crash course in Illustrator. You don't need to know much. So you're going to open up both, the PDF. You're just going to open up the PDF. There it is, X on wire. So there it is, and you can see it's all lines. And then we need to get this orientated properly, because right now it needs to be rotated. So we're going to take this guy. If I just select the whole thing and hover over at one of the corners, I get a rotation, so I can rotate it in the right angle. Now I did want to go landscape, right? So I'm going to go document setup, edit artboard. Yep, you were just recorded. I'm going to change the unit, so I got to go to edit preferences units. I'm going to switch it to inches.
Should we have done this in AutoCAD prior to saving it and opening?
No, it always opens it the wrong way. Make it 8.5 by 11. I've tried many things. So artboard, edit, 8.5 by 11. I mean, this is why you guys have 3 weeks to do all of this stuff. It's going to take some time, but then you guys will be pros. So there's my line work. I'm going to go to my layers. I'm going to make a new layer. Hit OK. I'm going to put that underneath my other layer. This is my drawing layer. I'm going to lock that one. Then I'm going to go to Edit, Place, and I'm going to place the render. Let's do this by date. You can see that's way too big, right? basically I can take this guy, hold down that button and scale it holding the shift key, because you want to scale it uniform. Now we can probably get a little bit savvier how to do this, but this is what we're going to do for now. So you can see those two things are not lined up. I'm going to lock this guy, unlock my line drawing, select my line drawing. And I'm using just the arrows to nudge this thing. And then if I hold the shift key, I'm going to grab that and I can make it fit. There it is. I then want to go in here and I'm going to use the direct select and select all the inside lines. And then I can go to, I'm going to go to my weight and just make sure. So the problem with that is it's picking the other ones as well. It's smarter than we want it to be. I don't know why it switches the whole thing. So I'm going to pick that line and pick that line. Let's see if we do a cut. If you do a cut, so you're going to pick those two lines and do a cut. And then you're going to do an edit, paste in place. So we're basically separating that geometry. And then what I can do, not graphics select, give me a second. I'm going to go to where it says where the stroke is for the thickness. It might be hide options. I'm going to show the options. I can make that a dash line. So that's basically 12 point dash, 12 point space. So I'm going to pick that, edit, cut, edit, paste in place, dashed. I grab that as well. Let me see if I can. Sorry, let me take that, edit, cut, edit, paste in place. Yeah, so you got to cut it and paste it. So then I'm going to select this and go select same stroke weight. It looks like it's just, yeah, it's just grabbing those. Okay, I'm going to make those a little bit heavier. I can just select the whole thing. So I'm going to select the whole thing and I'm going to make them all a little heavier except for the dash lines. Now, theoretically, those lines are also dashed, right? But these are actually confusing, to be honest with you. I would delete those. So we read more of the curve. And then the last thing is, I'm going to make another new layer. I'm going to call this outline. I'm going to pick all the surrounding lines that go around. And I might be missing. Go straight here. And make sure you're using direct select. Direct select. Make sure you're unlocked. direct select. I'm going to take these, edit, copy. I'm going to put it on the outline, edit, paste in place, and then stroke, and I'm going to make that heavier. So that's our sort of profile. Oop, missed that one somehow.
And the one on top.
No, it's just you're just picking the lines that touch air.
Oh, gotcha.
So this is a cube with one cutout. Obviously, pretty easy for you guys. You have a lot more geometry to deal with, right? So that's how you're going to do the the exons. Basically, you're going to have again 4 of these, right? Showing a sort of closed position and then open position. And then if we print this. Actually, I like to save these as PDFs. You should still save it as an Illustrator file, though, for your real document, but to print, it should be a PDF. That's always the best. That's what it looks like if we print this. Obviously won't come out color. You could do it, but it's 3D. So I couldn't get it to work on the wireframe. It wasn't doing it. Yeah. Toner must be running out. Yeah. But you can get the idea, right? So you want this thing to look like have a little cartoonish to it. And then again, you're going to be producing 4 of these, all right? So I would focus on this for now, and then get into the elevations and plans later, because those are going to be a little bit easier per se, somewhat. These are going to take some time.